So, Ro,
Yes,
autumn budget landed
it has.
today. Obviously, everyone's talking about it, and particularly with the Labour government, first Labour government for 14 years. I can't believe where the time's
I
gone.
know, madness.
It's the first female Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yep.
Fantastic. We had Chancellor announces 22.6 billion cash injection for NHS in England. Rachel Reeves hails the biggest increase outside of COVID since 2010, but health experts say that patients may not feel the impact. Let's talk about that a little bit in terms of, are they addressing like some immediate issues, the kind of like the low-hanging fruit, so to speak, in terms of what's going on in the NHS?
Yeah, so obviously they're talking about people waiting lists and reducing the waiting list, and they've also mentioned in there about increasing salaries for certain staff, which I think will have an immediate impact, because the worst situation we could face is people leaving the sector.
Yeah.
Hence the podcast,
Exactly.
Engage Care Talent.
Exactly.
At the same time, I think that one of the biggest issues that we all think we know as good as anyone else is how things are done, and what the money is actually being spent on. Me personally, it would make me cry to think that this would mean that certain hospitals might say, brilliant, we can take on temporary agency staff to plug gaps over investing in their own staff. Obviously we probably will never know, but I do think investing in the right staff is so important. I think because some of the nurses and healthcare workers that I've come into contact with in the last 9 months, if they were paid double, it wouldn't be half enough. Yeah, for the work that they do. So I do think it's definitely the right way to start.
I'm really interested to hear about the fact this 10-year plan for the NHS is going to be coming in the springtime, and actually I think it's a breath of fresh air to actually say here that there's an open consultation with staff, because where Streeting talks about it is like we want to spend time actually listening to staff to hear about what they want and then how they can be involved in coming up with a solution as well, because if you just direct it from above, it's not going to happen. So I'm like really interested to hear about, come the spring, about what that 10-year plan is going to look like. And I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities in anticipation of that spring plan, to talk about it in more depth, and also bring experts along to contribute their views to it.
Yeah, I think it would be really interesting to see if that consultation does happen, and who with. So I've just come back, as you know, from Las Vegas, to the health conference. At the health conference, absolutely huge, incredible experience, which we'll talk about another time. But one of the big problems is that a lot of the systems and product providers don't consult the health professionals. They just come up with a product, with a solution, roll it out, and people buy it, roll it out, and it's often wrong. And I just wonder whether maybe we've got the right point of view. The other thing that I would say is that with a 10-year plan, there's going to be another conversation with Dean Malpass, obviously, because he never got the Prime Minister's job. But it'd be brilliant to go back to some of our other guests, like Ben from Signet, like Nathan, like our economist, and I don't want to miss anyone else, but just to see what their point of view is, and also to see how it affects them in their business, because it'll be interesting to see how that budget does affect different people. And the final thing I'd say is that personally, and I know I've not got a big company, I haven't got many staff, but I've got no issue with contributing. I hope it's done in the right way. But if my contributions go up for our NHS after being in America and seeing the problems they've got, then I'm happy. I'm happy to support.
Absolutely, it's important work, and it needs to be recognised that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Stuff.